Good evening, everyone.
Man.
It's fine October rainy day. We have DonnieChesser here, who is going to show us how to make beer taps. So if you buy one of those kegerators for your living room or for your bar, now you know how to make a beer tap. We're going to see them. Donnie's going to show us how to make one, and he's got lots of beautiful examples here. So I'm going to let Donnie take away.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first off, sometimes I have trouble talking or whatever, but you can giggle, you can snicker, but don't laugh out loud. That's good. This is off a little bit. I thought I had it right when I drove to bring it in tonight, but it's off a little bit, so I'm going to do a little bit turning on it and see what it looks like. Later on, I'm going to do an ornament, see what it looks like, and when I turn this a little bit, I'm going to show you what goes into making them, put them together.
Donnie, could you show a couple of the finished products first?
Okay. There's a restaurant down in McKinney, and he's just opened up, and he wanted me to do some beer taps for him instead of the regular ones that the companies make, and he wanted 50 of them, so I got 36 made already. And they all like them, so I hope you guys like them. When you decide you're going to make one, this is what goes inside of it. That's for the tap. And it's adjustable at the bottom when they put it on and everything. It's kind of iffy. It's brass, so these wings at the top, they want to crack on you. So what I did, I got a screwdriver and cut the edges of it, and it sits in there, and that helps tighten it, turn it in and everything. So it's that part is just simple. Put it in. I usually put it between centers and then turn it. He wanted stuff made like my ornaments and stuff, so there's a lot of ornament pieces that you can see on them and everything. Everybody asked me, on this one here, he said, well, isn't that going to break because it's so thin and everything? You make pens, pencils, I got that inside there, it's the whole length of it. So that's a good bracelet inside. It's about it's just under half an inch, I think it is, the outside thread. The inside, I think, is about a quarter inch. You gonna look at it? Came right back to you. But you want to look at it? Pass it around? They're actually quite easy to make, and people that like beer, I don't like beer, but if they like beer, it's unique at your house. You made that? Yeah. So. Okay. Like I said, it's off a little bit, so it's not going to be a real nice turning. I turn different from most people because I got Parkinson's, so my hand shakes, so I have to do it a different style. So don't go, I never do that. Well, this is how I do it. basically whatever makes you happy to shape-wise is good. This here I would take it down quite a bit shorter, use a parting tool down here, and then the rest of it I would just take off and use on a sander. This here, if you want any designs on it. You see there's a lot of technique into it. It's a little flat right here, take it out a little bit, sand it down, and you got a beer tap. Whatever you want to dye it. I dyed one, and I thought it was the ugliest thing on earth, and the people at the store went crazy over it. I think that's ugly, but that's what they picked out. No taste. Some of them are glue-ups. Bacote and bird's eye maple. There's some veneer on the edge of it, yellow veneer. Of course, you got the Texas wood. And like I say, whatever you, I showed this piece to the owner, and he went crazy over it. I'm not a fan of it, but so quite a tall one. Your pardon? All I know is dead wood. And I made one of those little bowls like that lady makes, somewhat good, not as good as her. And I thought, well, I'll stick that on it too. That's another wood that gives you a fit. A wing, like a splinter. Okay, like I said, just a bunch of ornaments sticking out of here. I've noticed that whenever I do it, the wood is so hard. This is brass. It wants to break. So what I do, I get it and I'll put it on a threaded valve and go to my grinder and grind the tops of it off a little bit until it fits snug and good. Because the wings will break off on you if you don't. And these I got to buy them at Ace Hardware. They're like $1.25 each. You're not much money when you make one of these. Does anybody got any questions on that part of it or anything? Like I said, this is a quick one here, but. This one here? Yeah, I did that one just by sight tonight, which I shouldn't have, but I did. I usually put it in a drill press. The hole you got in the center, put a couple of clamps, wood clamps this your way, and then you just drill it down. Yeah, before you turn it. Then once you do that, you can put the insert into it and use that as a holder. I can get I don't have it here, I think, a rod that's threaded, cut it down short, and thread it into it, and that's what goes into this here. No, actually, it's right here. So, yeah. That way, when you put that threaded part into that, it lines the whole thing up. So that way, otherwise, it's going to be like this here when you finish it. Now, having said that, once in a while they're off a little bit, but what this threads into on the bottom, it has an adjustable nut on it. So all you do is get this here. If it's like this here, you just turn it until it lines up, and then tighten the bottom part. Nobody can see if it's off a little bit this way. Yeah, 3 or 4 bottles they won't see anyway, yeah. Or care. There's not much to really to making the beer taps and stuff, other than design and stuff. When you make 50 of them, you got to kind of a little bit to make them different. And does anybody go to McKinney around here? Right off of McDonald Street from the downtown is used to be a barbecue restaurant there. Well, the guy that owns local Yoko, which is a meat market, they put it's delicious food, barbecue. Then he's going to put a meat market. Then that's going to be like where you go and get light meat and drink beer. That's going to have 30 taps back there. And I've been there already, and that's good barbecue. If you get a chance to go. Anything else on this part, or?
Can you tell us how much money you're going to make on those 50 handles?
Not much. He's a friend of mine. So the ones like this here, I'm charging 40, and the ones that are designed 60. They should be $20, $30 above that, but he's a friend. So, and I've seen them online, any place from mass produced for $40 each up to 100. You know, so. But they're just unique, and like I say, if you're throwing a party and stuff, and your friends go, "Wow, you made the beer taps too? Can you make me one?" Yeah, for $30. Yeah. Pay for your beer that way, right? So that's just about it on that. Unless you want me to sand it and everything. This here part here, like I said, I would just get a Suzuki saw, cut that off, go to the face sander and just sand it, and then sand it by hand, and you got it. It's done. I'm using, and I've been told I should use a thicker coating on it, you know, the kind you dip in. But I'll get this here, and I'll do the minus high-speed friction polish, and I use that as a sealer. This is too big of a piece to polish it up properly for that. I use it for a sealer, and then triple thick clear glaze 0500. That's the greatest stuff in the world for my ornaments. All these ornaments here. That finish on those is all this. Triple thick 0500. I get it at Walmart. I used to get it at Michael's, but they're expensive. Walmart's about just under $4 a can, I think it is. And it is. It's that sweet stuff. On these, be 2 to 3 coats. And if you use this stuff here, you got to use shellac as a sealer, or the, like I said, minus high-speed friction polish. And it brings out the color pretty good too. There's a nice thing about this here. You can spray this stuff on, wait about 2 minutes, put another coat on, wait another 2 or 3 minutes, put another coat on, and you can handle it. It's dry. That's how fast it dries. It's nice stuff to work with. No, none of that stuff is food safe. The only thing that's food safe is probably the, not vegetable oil, but the mineral oil. Anything else that puts a plastic finish on it when you're cutting, that little chips of plastic is getting into your food. Don't ever put it like that. And like I said, that's dull right now because I didn't put a sealer coat on or anything, but put 3 or 4 coats in that, and that's how it would shine. Well, you can see how they are. My favorite wood, Cocobolo. Like I said, some guys told me that I should be using that, was it epoxy? Is that real thick stuff? Like they put in the tabletops? Because of the wear and tear like this, you're going all the way. So I said every year, just give them back to me and I'll refinish them for them. That's another pretty one. Like I said, that's about all I can do as far as the showing this here stuff. It's just a short, small spindle. You know, you could actually, if you got an old chair someplace that's got 3 legs on it, cut one of the legs off, drill a hole in the bottom, get a beer tap. Well, why not?
Wife wouldn't like that.
Well, you can just sit like this here, you know. Put it in your mother-in-law's chair. Yeah. And if you're making a chair that one doesn't turn out right. So I'm going to go now into, hopefully, how I make some of these my ornaments, which would be Kind of a neat setup. I've discovered that a long time ago, if you get a block of wood like this, put it in your lathe, you know, this is what I call facing right here, and face both sides where they're completely flat. So it's perfectly flat. You go to your drill press, you drill a hole, mark the X in the center, drill a hole, and the bottom's going to come out different. This in here, that hole is pretty well lined up, right? You can see it? It's pretty well lined up to the center, the X. I drilled that depth. That was off a little bit. The wood will turn the bit a little bit, or the bit bends a little bit from the wood. You can see it's close here. Something like this, it doesn't really show that much. Some of the owners I do show a lot. If I get more detail in here, this in here. Because of this, putting these in, they will show height-wise a big difference if you don't have it lined up perfectly. Because one side's going to be closer, one side's going to be further, so this here part is going to be maybe that tall. The other one over here is going to be that tall. So what I do with that, if you get, I'm going to do a glue up of this, or the other one, I'm going to do a glue up. Start out with these two pieces of wood right here, the same size as a 7mm tube, thickness-wise. Lay this down on a block of wood. What I do, I clamp it around this here side where this is sticking out from my workbench. Lay that down with glue on it. Put that in there with glue on it. Put that with glue on it, and clamp them dry. Let them dry. Now that tube is perfectly matched to the wood. Then you come back and you put your next piece on. You would say put that on there, glue them. If it's thin like this here, veneer, you want to get a piece of thicker stuff on top of it and hold it down for a few minutes until it dries a little bit. Otherwise, it's going to wrinkle on you. Then, to finish it off, you would get, that would go in the center. That would go on one side. That's basically your glue up. Of course, you clamp this way and you clamp down and everything else, but that's half of your glue up right there. And it would be lined up. I can't see it to line it up right now, but it would be lined up perfect with it. And that tube is matched perfectly to everything else, because everything else is clamped around it. You're not going to have the ornament off or balance or anything. Let that dry. When it's dry, with your bandsaw, cut these edges where they're smoother, this and here. That way you can turn it over and work on the other side, do the other side of it, which is basically the same thing as this here, over here. If you don't like a centerpiece that is this thick, you can do 5 layers of veneer. You can use that the stuff that's not veneer, but it's about this thick. You can do layers of that until you get to the size of your ornament center. And I think it works great. Well, I think my ornaments there, those were pretty ornaments. Any questions on that? Don't use super glue. You have no setup time. I like that the brown glue that is wet or dry type. A slower set you want to because you want to be able to move this around for X amount of minutes. If you get the faster set stuff, it's going to be like this here. And you go, well, I want to move it, and the whole thing's going to move because it's locked in there. And it really doesn't show any kind of a line on it. I mean, you can't, on these here, you bring it in closer if you want to. You can't see any kind of a glue line at all. That's the brown glue. No, it's just the Woodcraft, indie store. It's a brownish color and it's got a green cap on it. Yeah, Type 1 3, yeah. It's great glue, great glue. These here, that is basically using this jig here. I call it a sled. Either that or Civil War boat. What this does, it allows you to go to your drill press, lock it in place with clamps. You'd have, say, a circle drawn around here, and your points that you're going into, and just drill the holes you want, which would be these holes here. You just got a hole drilled in it. This is diamond wood. And put your diamond wood in, you turn it. Round if you want it, oval, any shape you want. This one here, this is from the same glue up. This part here is the sister of that one. Cut into two pieces, so now I got two ornaments I can make out of one glue up. This in here, smaller round than this one. Move these in a little bit, and so you got this design here. And all that is a dowel with two layers of veneer wrapped around and glued onto the dowel, which is quite simple. You just get the veneer, wet it, get the dowel you're going to use, wrap it around it, let it dry, cut off the excess, and glue it. Put the next layer, and the next layer you would have the opening, the opening would be here, next opening over here. And when you finish with it, they tighten up where you can't see the overlap or anything. If you think it's going to do that, where that cut is, put that cut on the outside, that's going to be turned off anyway. This here, I really like this one. This is Bacote. I didn't have a big enough piece to make this here part, so I glued it up just one top of the other and turned it. The only thing it does, it wants to split. Bacote doesn't like glue or finishes, so it must open up. So what you do in the end here, you see the little live centers here that have a cup on the outside with a spur in the center? That holds it in place. At the same time, it keeps it from opening up. There's a round circle that grabs it. And then I just go over, I had that marked, I go to my Dremel, drill a hole to it, put a little in it, and you're set. It took me years to find these little tiny things, and again, Ace Hardware has them. You can see some of the ones over there, they got the real big tops on them and everything. That's the smallest I could find. But I found out, like I found also that when you do this, make it as long if you can, because you got now you got 5 pieces or 4 pieces of ornaments you can make instead of one, and one is harder to work with than big is. Okay, this is here is just all this is just different angles. This here would be holes in the side of the ornament going around. This in here would just be offset where it would be kind of give you a teardrop effect because it comes like this. And someone asked me what degree it is, whatever it wants to be. You can make that any place you want. You can drill it. And let's see, I got some other stuff I wanted to. Oh, yes. when this is Christmas time, and if you have children or grandchildren, what do they want to do? They want to make something for grandma or dad, right? Or grandma, right? What do you make? What do they make for you? Little paper deals that go around the tree? A picture, something like that, which is gone the next year. Today I thought, well, why not the Turner, buy the ornament kit, the dowel's about this year long, turnaround ball. It doesn't have to be made out of pine, because this is going to be covered up. Just a round ball, don't sand it, because the paint likes to stick to rough, not to slick. And then you get some acrylic paint, put it into, say, a dish or something, this color, that color, just pour it in there. Don't mix it, just pour it in there. And then roll it in there. And the kid does the rolling and stuff, because he's making the ornament. This is the ornament he gives to grandma. And I think they're neat. Now, now 20 years from now, Mom's still going to have this. Simple to do. Next thing. Uh-huh. Yeah, basically, when they're like this, it's done with a dowel. I mean, the brass tube. The hole's drilled down here, brass tube in there, and then I get one of these here. Well, if you do pins and stuff, these here. If you do pins and stuff, you got some of these that are bent a little bit. That goes into that. That's your force. That's your strength there inside here. 7 millimeter. Yeah, this is probably a 1/4 inch. Yeah, and like I said, I've been asked about this. There's a whole one of these rods inside of this. Very strong, very strong. You can probably bend it, but I doubt if you break it. Just that regular brown glue. Pour some into the tube. Put it all together. Dry fit it first. It works dry fit. Just put the glue in and go to town. The whole. I'm gluing this here to the inside of the brass tube, the outside of the brass tube to this. Very simple. And another one I came up with an idea. A lot of people make, for sale and everything else, wine stoppers. They're very popular. Why not that? It's Christmas time. And that can be any color, red, yellow, green, bro. Now this one here has the hole in it for the ornament. At woodcraft, there's 3 types of ornaments you get. You get one that's got like a spear, one that's got a little ball on the bottom, and then one that's got a little round ball on the bottom. Throw the top half away, get that round ball, and put it on top. There's no hole in it. So it'd look more natural with this. But if you do shows and stuff, I bet that would be a seller this time of year. Like I say, any color wood you want, or any dyed if you want. And always remember, you want this glued into here. You want this free, so you can take it off and clean it and stuff. That'll unscrew. That's got to be screwed inside. Any questions on that part? I told you this is going to be a fast and funny one. Does anybody have any questions about anything? Okay, back and back. Some of the ones I have at home have places where you can clamp it. Like this in here, you would clamp it just like this here. You'd have your If you blank against that, and you would put your clamp like this. Do it, clamp it, do it, clamp it. This here, you can do the same thing if you want to, but it'd take a wider base right here when you put a clamp on it and stuff. But like I say, I don't. They're jigs, but I just call them sleds because they all look like they go that way. It's my shop, so I can call it what I want, right? Anything else? You mean turn a small ornament? I'll show you how some of the tools I use to do this. Huh? There's a dozen different tools you can use for making these, but this thing is tight. These don't take much time to knock out, these little ones like this. Now to make the finial, you got a finial. You use this. If you like more of them, get that smoother in here, just bring it in and wipe it out. And sand it. Like I said, again, I use mild and high-speed friction polish on it. I go from 150, usually 150, it's a tougher wood, 120, and up to 400. Once in a while you get a grain of wood that's going to show those scars, unit 400, just stop and then sand this away while it's still on the lathe. The mild and high-speed friction polish, which I don't have here. Then I take it off, well actually before I do that, I take this off and I'll take it to an air gun and blow out to get anything that's in dust that's in the pores and stuff, because that really will show on you. Blow that off, then the mild and high-speed friction polish. Take it off. I have dozens of these rods that have been bent and so forth that are not used anymore. I just have those in a block of wood, put this on it, spray it, let it set for about 3 minutes, spray it again, 3 minutes, spray it again. 10 minutes later I can put it together and I got an ornament done. So it's probably half an hour, maybe 45 minutes maximum. Nope. If it feels rough someplace, I'll use that cloth type, just to like kind of wipe it on, and then blow it off again and put another coat on it. But usually you don't really need to. I mean, that right there is basically, and you can pass it around too. Somebody want to pass this around, look at it? And even on these smaller ones, you can always put like drill a hole, put a dowel in it. You can cut it in two here, put some veneer in between it. Now you got that line in there, which it shows in the book there. Has that? I did write a book on some of this stuff, and it really adds to the look of them when you do that. These here, I got a place. It's a museum. They sell them for me, and they get a percentage of it. They sell these for $30. I haven't tried any of this here yet. This is just a 2-day-old idea. And that's about it, huh? Any questions? I love questions. So. Thank you. Sorry I wasn't better, but I did my best. But if you like barbecue, you'll love this restaurant. It's really, really good. I don't know. It's local yokels. It's off of Louisiana Street and McDonald. There's one at the other end of town that's a barbecue place that's supposed to be like number 5 in Texas. It's about 10 times better. It's really, really good. Really good. Ta-da. Thank you. Like I said, it's probably too short and everything, but I did my best.